am literally in the air right now, rapping up a stewardess. First class, I am so new at this. Used to ride a metro, let us hit us retro. Like the infrareds on my feet, baby, let's go. Sinatra, what they know me by, logic, what they call me. Gotta catch a flight with the fans when I storm me. Life of a dawn, change just glowing. Always in the lab with the fresh kicks on. I'm at the MGM, rockin' MCM. Bobby Sacks on my arm, it's only 10 p.m. Now the rat pack with me going ham at the hotel. Name brand, everything, fuck a wholesale. No, I am not materialistic. I was broke my whole life, and no, I don't miss it. Last 7 years of my life was in a lab, working every day, giving it everything I had. Now that a brother is finally recognized, I will not let the limelight hypnotize. Everybody be sure, I'ma always want more.
Under the spotlight, neither black nor white. It doesn't matter. Do the dance as you might. Working day and night.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, now the grind never stops, like I'm running from the cops. It's hard to stay humble when you're forced fed props.
If you so much as hum 3 notes from that Righteous Brothers song, with God as my witness, I will come at you with everything I've got. Okay?
Let's have a great time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 15 of the 2024 NFL season, or what's left of it, as all but 2 games have already been played. Your Vikings are hosting the Bears on Monday Night Football, and before even kicking off, have already secured their ticket to the playoffs. But there is still much to play for and much to talk about, so let's crack a beer and get going. I've been saving this for quite a while. This week, I will be drinking the Pursuit of Freedom Sangria Sour from Revolution Brewing, and much like years of bad quarterback play and disappointing seasons, it's brewed only in Chicago. It is a session sour ale with red grape, pineapple, lime, and other natural orange flavors. This is a pint, 4.5% alcohol by volume. I thought the label looked really cool. So, try our Sangria Sour. A red beer and a white hoodie maybe wasn't the best call. I'm going to very cautiously hold this up. It is much darker red than I anticipated. It looks almost black on the camera. I was trying to see if there was some way for me to get some light behind it, but as you can see, even with a flashlight held behind it, it's a very deep crimson. Red, almost purple. Perfect. All right. Well, at 11 o'clock on a school night, skull feeleth there. That is delicious. It reminds me so much of, I can't put my finger on it. There's a fruit punch, or it's not as tart, I would say, as like a sangria, like an actual red wine sangria. It reminds me so much of and this isn't it, but like a Tahitian treat, or it's so fruity, but in like a balanced and sophisticated way. I'm not calling it Kool-Aid. It's a very good sour. Definitely, I get all the different flavors that they talked about. The pineapple, I think, is maybe where most of the sweetness is coming from. The citrus is there, really, really strong. They're balanced really well. Revolution Brewing. I'm sorry I have to drag your team a little bit here, but your beer is excellent. Pursuit of Freedom. If I remember what that reminds me of, I will definitely share it with you. That's tasty. All right, well, again, Vikings are playoff bound one way or another. They are hosting the Bears tonight after playing them just 3 weeks ago, or at Soldier Field. And they won, I think it was in overtime, 30-27, with a walk-off field goal. Hopefully this week is a little more of a secure victory. The Vikings have been playing very well the last couple weeks, and the Bears have been just facing kind of tumult after tumult. They are now down to their, and don't quote me on this, I should know, but they fired their head coach and promoted their offensive coordinator, then they fired their offensive coordinator and promoted the quarterback's coach. He's the head coach now. But either way, it's the Whiteout, hence the outfit and hopefully the backdrop, if I pick something wintry. It's the first time we get to see their Winter Warrior uniforms, which for the first time that I can remember, probably my lifetime, probably ever, they won't be wearing purple helmets. They will have white helmets with a silver horn and silver face masks. I do get a little cautious about having too many third uniforms and weird things, but I do think these look really cool. I still think they should go to their throwbacks, their classics, whatever they call them, as their permanent base state of jerseys, but until I win that argument, it's fun that they can do things like this too. Okay, so today's game is interesting. The Bears really don't have anything left to play for. They've had a rough season with their rookie quarterback and rookie wide receiver and all the free agent moves they made, really struggling to find cohesion and rhythm. And given their lofty expectations at the beginning of the season, it has to sting a little bit to find yourself here in Week 15. In the most competitive division in the NFL, and then the Bears. I don't want to look past the Bears because this really has like all the makings of a trap game and the kind of game that the Vikings, I don't want to say have a tendency to lose without having any numbers to back it up, but it feels like we have these games where it's like home run, can't miss, Vikings are rolling, we just took the Falcons to the woodshed, and now the hapless Bears are coming to town, and we're going to steamroll them and on to the Super Bowl, baby. Every NFL team is full of professional football players who have a lot to play for individually, even if the franchise itself does not. Case in point, the 2-10 or 2-12, whatever they were, Panthers almost beat the 11-2 Eagles, or whatever their record is, last week. So any team, any given Sunday, I don't want to just like write off the Bears, especially given how completely the Bears defense shut down Justin Jefferson last time. It did come at the expense of giving up huge games to Addison and Hawkinson and Jones. Statistically speaking, the second time division opponents meet in a season, more often than not, it's a lower scoring affair than the first time. I know that because of fantasy football stuff, but it does bear out that the teams know each other better, they're prepared, and to meet for the second time in just a few weeks there hasn't been much time for any schemes to change or any players to change or roles on the team to change. Both teams, to my knowledge, are coming in with the casts about the same. There's not injuries, there's not a backup quarterback or anything. All of the stars are out tonight. I would be looking for the Vikings offense to continue its role tonight. I want to see them build on the last couple weeks. As we're approaching the end of the season, I've been looking back at the Vikings schedule and looking at games that we were really excited to win. Again, going back to the preseason, the Vikings were projected for anywhere from 5 to 7 wins. It's a rebuilding year. Sam Darnold's your quarterback. It's going to be ugly. The rest of the division's going to lap you. And then, you rattled off 4 in a row against, 5 in a row technically, but you beat the Niners, you beat the Texans, you beat the Giants, and you beat the Packers. Now, the Texans have, now that we're nearing the end of the season, have not appeared to be the juggernaut that we thought they were going to be. The 49ers have certainly fallen short of our expectations for the season. The Giants are who we thought they were, and we should have beaten them. The Packers are a very good team, and beating them at Lambeau is a huge achievement. We've also beaten the Jets and the entirety of the AFC South, which is the Titans, the Colts, the Texans, and the Jags. Not the toughest division to play against. Not saying it doesn't count, just saying if we're looking at strength of schedule, we have had a softer schedule in hindsight than we thought we did to begin the year. And our 2 losses are to the Lions and the suddenly surging Rams. I know I just got done saying we shouldn't look past the Bears because every team in the NFL is full of professionals, and I stand by that, and I'm not taking anything away from the Vikings. I'm just saying this is the Viking fan in me being nervous that maybe we're not that good. And that brings me to something that Arif Hassan, I think it was, on the Norse Code podcast, talked about, how there don't really seem to be many great teams in the NFL this year. The Chiefs are like 14-1, but it's not convincing. They don't look good. They're needing miracles to pull out these victories. The Bills and the Lions kind of seem to be the cream of the crop. And then you've got the Eagles and the Ravens, but the Ravens have looked fallible. The Eagles almost lost to the Panthers. They did win, but they almost lost. And so maybe, if I'm sitting here saying the Vikings maybe aren't this great, infallible team, maybe this is the perfect season to just be good in a season where there's not that many teams that are great. With that in mind, I would like to round out the next 3 weeks for the Vikings. After tonight, if they win, they control their own destiny. Meaning, if they win, they will be tied with the Eagles and the Lions for the top seed in the NFC North. They play the Seahawks, then the Packers, then the Lions. If they win out, and the Lions win every game except for when the Vikings play them, the Vikings would take the top seed. They control their own destiny. They need to win. I probably just deleted a lot of things that I had to say about the standings because it was very convoluted and complicated. The important thing is the Vikings can fight for a first round bye, home games through the playoffs, and some time to rest some players. Or they could, go on the road throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Everything is still on the table. It's the whiteout game, it's Monday Night Football, it's against a division foe, it's with everything left to play for. Tonight's game, I hope, is exciting, I hope it's fun, I hope it's worth staying up for, and I hope the Vikings continue their roll. We are careening rapidly towards the holiday season, but hopefully I will have time to chime in with all of you next weekend when the Vikings take off to visit the Seahawks. Until then, thank you so much for listening and watching. Skål Filather. I can't remember what it is. Go Vikings.